Welcome back to Old Charles. Today we are going to explore the fascinating world of British coins and focus specifically on the UK 1 penny from 1938, a coin that carries both historical significance and collector interest. The 1938 1 penny was produced during the reign of King George VI, a period marked by recovery and change following the tumultuous years leading up to the Second World War. The coin itself is made from bronze and features the effigy of King George VI on the obverse side facing left, with the inscription Georgiev 6 DGBROMN Rex FDINDIMP, which stands for George VI, by the grace of God, King of all the Britons, Defender of the Faith, Emperor of India. The reverse side of the coin features the traditional image of a seated Britannia holding a trident and shield with the word 1 penny below her and the date 1938 prominently displayed. This design had been a staple of British coinage for many years and is cherished by collectors for its classic and symbolic imagery. When it comes to value, the 1938 UK 1 penny is generally considered to be a common coin, but its worth can vary significantly depending on its condition. Coins in circulated condition may fetch a few dollars or pounds at auctions or in coin shops. However, coins that are uncirculated or in near mint condition can be far more valuable. Collectors pay close attention to details such as the sharpness of the design, anywhere on the high points of the coin, and the quality of the original minting coins that retain their original luster with no scratches or damage are highly sought after and can command prices much higher than average. In addition, rarity also plays a role. While the 1938 1 penny was minted in large quantities, some variations in minting errors or unusual features can significantly increase the coin's value. These might include misaligned strikes, double strikes, or unusual colorations from the bronze alloy. For anyone interested in collecting, it is important to handle the coins carefully and store them in a dry environment away from direct sunlight and humidity. This preserves the metal and prevents tarnishing or corrosion, which can greatly reduce the coin's value. Many collectors use coin holders or albums designed specifically to protect coins while allowing them to be displayed and admired safely. Another important aspect of understanding value is provenance. Coins that come with documentation of previous ownership or that have been part of a well-known collection often have increased appeal and can attract premium prices at auction. The historical context of the 1938 1 penny adds another layer to its significance. During this period, Britain was still recovering from the Great Depression and facing growing international tensions which would soon erupt into World War II. Coins from this era reflect both the economic conditions and the artistic traditions of the time. The image of Britannia symbolizes strength and stability, a reassuring presence during uncertain times. The king's portrait reflects the continuity of the monarchy and its role as a unifying figure for the British people. Collectors today may find the 1938 1 penny in various conditions, from heavily circulated coins that show the wear of decades of use to coins that have survived in pristine condition, perhaps kept in a drawer or collection since the time they were minted. The difference in value between these conditions can be substantial. A well-preserved uncirculated coin may be valued at tens or even hundreds of pounds depending on its quality and market demand, while a heavily worn example may be worth only a few pounds or even less. However, even the common circulated coins are important to collectors because they tell the story of everyday life in Britain during the late 1930s. For anyone looking to buy or sell a 1938 1 penny, it is recommended to consult with reputable coin dealers or auction houses and to compare recent sales of similar coins to understand current market trends. It is also helpful to join collector communities online or locally where enthusiasts share information about pricing, condition, and historical context. This not only helps in valuing coins accurately but also enriches the collector's experience by connecting them to others who share the same passion. In conclusion, the UK 1 penny 1938 is more than just a small bronze coin. It is a piece of history, a tangible link to Britain's past, and a collectible item that offers both aesthetic appeal and potential financial value. Whether you are a seasoned numismatist or a new collector, the 1938 penny provides an opportunity to appreciate the artistry of coinage, the history of the United Kingdom, and the enduring appeal of coins that have been cherished for generations. Careful preservation, understanding condition, and awareness of historical context are key to appreciating the true value of this fascinating coin and making it a rewarding addition to any collection. The UK 1 penny 1938 was minted during the reign of King George VI, who became king in 1936 following the abdication of his brother Edward VIII. This period in British history was a time of significant transition and uncertainty as the country was still recovering from the economic effects of the Great Depression and preparing for the growing threat of International conflict in 1938. Europe was on the brink of war. Tensions were rising and Britain was beginning to respond to the challenges posed by aggressive powers across the continent. The penny as a coin was part of everyday life. It was used by millions of Britons to purchase small goods and services, and it symbolized both the economic conditions and the stability of the monarchy at a time when national confidence was essential. The design of the penny itself reflected long-standing traditions in British coinage. The obverse features King George VI, whose portrait was carefully designed to convey dignity, authority and continuity. His presence on the coin reassured the public that despite political and economic uncertainty the monarchy remained a stable and enduring institution. The inscription surrounding the portrait highlighted his titles and responsibilities, emphasizing his role as King of the United Kingdom and Emperor of India, which reflected the global reach of the British Empire at that time. The reverse of the coin featured Britannia seated with her shield and trident, a symbol of Britain's strength, resilience and maritime power. Since Roman times, Britannia had been used as a personification of Britain, and on the penny she represented the nation's ability to endure challenges and protect its interests both at home and abroad. The inclusion of the date 1938 on the coin marks it as a product of a very specific historical moment, a snapshot of life in pre-war Britain before the outbreak of the Second World War. The following year coins like the 1938 penny also tell the story of the economy and social life in Britain at the time. Bronze pennies were used by people from all walks of life in markets, shops and public transportation. They were ordinary yet essential items that connected the monarchy and state to the daily lives of ordinary citizens. This everyday usage gives modern collectors a tangible link to the experiences of people living in Britain over 80 years ago. From a numismatic perspective, the 1938 penny represents one of the final issues before the war dramatically affected coin production. During World War II, resources like bronze were redirected to support the war effort, and coin designs and production were altered as a result. This makes coins from the late 1930s a particularly interesting period for collectors because they represent the last era of pre-war British coinage in a form that had remained largely unchanged for decades. In addition, the 1938 penny is part of a larger story of British coinage that stretches back centuries. The penny had been a fundamental unit of currency in Britain since medieval times, and over the centuries its design evolved to reflect political changes, economic conditions and artistic trends. By the time George VI ascended the throne, the penny was a familiar symbol of stability and continuity even as the world around it was undergoing rapid and sometimes turbulent change. Understanding this history adds depth and meaning to the 1938 penny. Beyond its monetary value, it is not simply a small bronze coin but a representation of Britain in a particular historical moment, a connection to a king who guided the nation through challenging times, and a piece of the story of a country and empire on the eve of monumental change. Collectors and history enthusiasts alike appreciate the coin not only for its aesthetic qualities and rarity but also for the story it tells about life in Britain in the late 1930s, the people who used it and the historical forces that shaped its existence. When it comes to evaluating the condition of the UK 1 penny 1938, collectors pay very close attention because condition is one of the most important factors in determining a coin's value. The condition of a coin refers to how well it has survived over the years and how much wear or damage it has accumulated since it was minted. Coins that have been circulated extensively will show signs of wear, especially on the high points of the design, such as the King's portrait and Britannia's figure. On these areas you may notice smoothing or flattening of details and a loss of the original sharpness that the mint intended to produce. Uncirculated coins, on the other hand, are those that have never been used in everyday transactions. They retain almost all of their original detail and surface finish. These coins may still have the original mint luster, a subtle shine that comes from the way the metal was struck and polished when the coin was made. Collectors often use magnifying tools to inspect coins for even minor imperfections because even a small scratch, dent or discoloration can affect the grade and value of a coin. There are standardized grading systems used by collectors to describe condition. The most common grades range from poor, where almost all detail is worn away, to mint state, where the coin is in pristine condition and looks nearly identical to when it was struck at the mint. Coins in fine or very fine condition show moderate wear but still retain most major details, while extremely fine coins show only slight wear on the highest points of the design. The UK 1 penny 1938 can be found in all these grades depending on how it has been stored and handled over the years. Environmental factors play a major role in a coin's condition. Coins that have been exposed to moisture can develop corrosion or greenish spots known as verdigris. Bronze coins like the 1938 penny are particularly susceptible to this type of damage. Coins stored in damp environments or handled with bare hands without proper care may also develop fingerprint stains or scratches which can significantly reduce their value. Therefore, collectors are advised to handle coins by the edges and store them in protective holders, albums or cases that prevent contact with air, moisture and contaminants. Cleaning a coin is generally discouraged because it can cause permanent damage and reduce the coin's value even if the coin appears dirty or tarnished. Professionally graded coins often retain higher market value precisely because they have not been altered or cleaned artificially. The original details can help in accurately identifying the coin and assessing its market value. The historical context of the 1983 quarter is also interesting as it was produced during a time when coin collecting was gaining popularity in the United States. The early 1980s saw the public interested in coins from both the present and the past, which has contributed to the ongoing demand for coins from this period. Even though millions of 1983 quarters were minted, some in exceptional condition or with unique characteristics are still desirable among numismatists. For those looking to sell or trade a 1983 quarter dollar, it is important to consult current price guides, auction results and online marketplaces. These sources provide insight into the value trends of the coin and help determine a fair market price. Collectors should also consider having their coins professionally graded, as this can significantly impact the selling price and ensure authenticity. In addition to monetary value, the 1983 quarter dollar holds sentimental and historical value for many Americans as it represents a period of continuity in United States coinage and the ongoing legacy of George Washington on the quarter. The design itself has remained largely unchanged since its introduction and continues to be recognized and cherished by collectors and casual enthusiasts alike. The United States quarter dollar 1983 has a rich history that reflects both the legacy of American coinage and the continued popularity of the Washington Quarter series. The Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth and quickly became a staple of everyday currency. The obverse of the coin features the profile of George Washington designed by John Flanagan, while the reverse depicts a bald eagle with outstretched wings perched on a bundle of arrows beneath two olive branches. By 1983 the Washington Quarter had been in circulation for over 50 years and had undergone a few changes in composition. Originally the quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper, but in 1965 the United States Mint switched to a clad composition of copper and nickel due to rising silver prices. This change made the coins more affordable to produce and helped ensure that the quarter remained in widespread circulation. The 1983 quarter dollar was minted during a period of economic stability in the United States and is part of a series that was produced in high quantities. The Philadelphia and Denver Mint struck millions of coins, making it one of the more common quarters in circulation. Collectors often pay close attention to the mint marks, which indicate the origin of the coin, with a D for Denver and no mark for Philadelphia. Throughout its history, the 1983 quarter has served not only as currency but also as a collectible item. Many collectors appreciate the coin for its consistent design and the historical continuity it represents. The 1983 quarter is part of the last era before the 50-state quarters program, which began in 1999. This means that for more than 60 years the design remained largely unchanged, making coins like the 1983 quarter a symbol of enduring American tradition. In addition to its design and composition, the 1983 quarter reflects broader trends in coin collecting and numismatics. During the 1980s, coin collecting became more popular in the United States, and coins from this period were often saved for their potential future value. Even though most 1983 quarters were intended for circulation, some were carefully preserved by collectors in mint condition and proof sets. These preserved coins now provide a glimpse into the coin production methods and standards of the early 1980s. The history of the 1983 quarter also intersects with technological advancements in minting. The coins were struck using modern presses that allowed for precise details and consistent quality. The mint carefully controlled the production to ensure that the profile of George Washington and the details of the eagle remained sharp and recognizable on each coin. This attention to detail contributes to the appeal of the 1983 quarter among collectors today. Finally, the 1983 quarter holds historical significance as part of the larger story of United States Coinage and the enduring image of George Washington on American currency. It represents both a practical medium of exchange and a collectible piece of history that connects modern collectors with the early days of the Washington Quarter series. The coin remains a testament to American craftsmanship and the enduring legacy of one of the nation's most iconic leaders when it comes to the United States quarter. 1983. The condition of the coin plays a critical role in determining its value and appeal to collectors. Coins are generally evaluated on the Sheldon grading scale, which ranges from poor to mint state. This scale allows collectors to assess the amount of wear and preservation of each individual coin and help standardize the way coins are valued. A circulated 1983 quarter will show varying degrees of wear depending on how long it was used and how it was handled. Coins that have been in everyday use for decades often display worn details such as a faded profile of George Washington and a softened eagle on the reverse. In this state, the coins are typically valued only at their face value or slightly above. For collectors who want examples from that year, uncirculated coins are a different story. These coins have never been used in everyday transactions and retain most if not all of their original mint luster. The surfaces are smooth and shiny with crisp details and strong edges.